Tuesday's video was met with a little bit of skepticism when I said that the Oden was an outright counter to the Fara. Was there any meaning in that, or was I just being clickbaity? Well, in this video we're going to discuss it, but I do genuinely believe that the Oden is a lot better, and in this versus counter guide series, I'm going to explain exactly why, with stats, with facts, and with a little sprinkle of opinion in there. So guys, if you do enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button below, and consider subscribing if you're new here. A lot of you are joining lately, so it's great to have you on board, but until then, let's get right into the video. Right, so these classes are both used predominantly at range, but have a little bit of versatility to be used in the mid-range and in some cases in the short range. So the reason that these classes are used is because they do a lot of damage quite quickly. So the main gun that we're going to start with at the minute is going to be Oden, so let's talk about damage. The initial damage, if you hit them in the chest, is going to come in at 57 for the Oden, and it's going to come in at 29 on the Fara. Now that is a significant damage advantage there, and especially when we come into headshots. Headshots, you're going to be hitting for 77 on an Oden and 39 on a Fara. I would, however, say it is worth going for headshots on both guns. You're going to kill a lot quicker with this, especially on the Oden. If you can hit a couple of headshots, people are going to get absolute domed. You can actually decrease your time to kill by at least 2 or 3 shots in some cases at some ranges. So yeah, headshots for both weapons are an absolute must if you're getting into a gunfight with someone else using the same weaponry. The next thing that we're going to talk about as well is going to be the rate of fire. Now, the rate of fire on the Oden, now I call rate of fire forgiveness. Rate of forgiveness is 413 rounds per minute, which is actually quite low. It's very low. That's slower than some semi-automatic weapons. You can fire pistols quicker than that. You can fire a DMR quicker than that. I'm pretty sure you can fire an FAL a lot quicker than that as well. However, if you do hit those shots, you do get rewarded for them. Now, in terms of the Fara, that's coming in at a much more forgiving rate of forgiveness, rate of fire. 790 rounds per minute. So if you miss a couple of shots, not going to make a massive difference to your time to kill, though it will affect it. And the difference to your time to kill won't be as dramatically affected as it would be if you missed a couple of shots on the Oden. Now, this is very good. This means that, you know, the Fara's nearly got double I was going to say the frame rate, the fire rate of the Oden, but the Oden doesn't have double the damage. It's close, but not quite. So we'll get into why the Oden's a bit better later. So range on the Oden is going to come in at an absolutely massive 83 meters. Now, that is up there with the DMR, that is up there with the EBR, that's up there with the SKS. You are in marksman rifle territory with that range, and the fact that you're doing such high damage at that range, at fully automatic, is absolutely disgusting. Now, the Fara does have a decent range too. It's decent for, ARs, but it's nothing special. It's coming in at 40 meters, so a significant range advantage there on the Oden. Next up on the list is going to be bullet velocity. Now, this is the reason why the Oden does quicker damage than the Fara. The Fara, I'll start off with the Oden, sorry. The Oden comes in at 1504 meters per second in terms of bullet velocity. You are hitting your target a lot quicker, about 30% quicker than you are on an Oden. And if you're using these guns at range, which people like to do, that is a massive deficit that you're making up there. This basically means that the further away a target is, the more of a gap between the time to kill there is between the Oden and the Fara, especially at these damage numbers. Usually the bullet velocity, unless you're talking about snipers, isn't a big deal. On this it is, because it actually contributes to the time to kill advantage that the Oden has. And speaking of that, let's just say someone's right in your face 1 meter away. If someone's right in your face 1 meter away, your time to kill is going to be 581 milliseconds. That's on chest shots. If you do the same thing on a Fara, it's going to be coming in at 608. So that's a good few frames quicker on the Oden. And that's up close. Like, don't be afraid to use this weapon up close, because it can beam people. It can melt. But like I say, that bullet velocity, that's going to be a big reason why you're killing people quicker. Because, you know, you're hitting them quicker. You're hitting them a lot quicker. When your bullets are hitting quicker, they're easier to actually hit as well, so you don't have to lead your shots as much, meaning it's actually really easy to hit people from far away with the Oden. The recoil's easy to control as well. And past 40 meters, when we go back onto the range discussion, 40 meters versus 83, that's a huge vacuum between the two weapons. So 40 meters and 83 meters, exactly. Yep, so 83 meters, you are killing people nearly 300 milliseconds quicker on an Oden than you are on a Fara. That is ridiculous. And the fact that you're killing quicker up close than a Fara tells me there isn't many reasons to be using a Fara now over an Oden. Now the reason that I'm going to get into this, a few things that you do want to know, is that the movement speed on the Fara is, it is far superior. But this is what baffles me about people saying, well, the movement speed's faster, so this makes the gun more viable. This is said by people who get a heartbeat sensor in camp buildings. Like, people who use movement speed buildings don't bloody move. People who are using the ranged builds are the ones who are moving because they know that they need to be able to fight at that range. So, yeah, I don't really rate the movement speed argument on as much in this particular video, and that's because I can rock up my MP5 or a Mac 10 or whatever I want to run and have that movement speed anyway, and still be just as lethal up close. Same thing for the Fara, you can do that in the Fara. Another thing that I do like about the Fara though is that it's a more versatile weapon. It's a more versatile weapon because you can run it with a sniper, you can run it with an SMG, you can run it with a shotgun, you can run it while doing a backflip or just having a riot shield or melee weapon. You can run it with anything you want. Whereas the Oden does kind of need to be ran with an SMG, because if you don't run it with an SMG, your movement speed is going to be dramatically affected unless you're using a Swiss. But then you don't really have reliable close range. Like I say, it can beam people at close range, but you can't really, if you get caught out, you need to be aimed down sight super quick. You can't rely on the hip fire on the Oden either. So yeah, I do like how the Fara is more reliable. Now, as I mentioned, the Oden needs a secondary, so that's a disadvantage for the Oden. However, like I say, that time to kill gap between 40 and 80 meters, that worth alone that is why you would use this weapon. And the fact that you can put the Oden into a semi-automatic mode as well, and then you've basically just turned it into a DMR. You've turned the Oden into a DMR once you've, into a DMR once you've put it into that semi-automatic mode. And bullet velocity and bullet drop so low, as in how far the bullets actually drop, is that you can actually be a supporting person for the sniper. So if you're in a sniper fight and they're sat there pinging at people, you can literally put in big damage. You can put in big damage. So if someone gets like a HDR shot off, they're one hit. You hit them once with an Oden, they're down. Same if they get a neck shot with a car or a Swiss, or a couple of shots to the body, say both teammates have hit him. You hit him once with the Oden, he's down. And what's really good with the Oden as well, with being able to trust it at like really long ranges, is that if your teammates knock somebody, you can be sat there and just say, right, I'll finish him off for you, while your teammates start worrying about sniping somebody else. It's that good. I use the Oden in that situation all the time. Now the Fara is way more forgiving if you whiff your shots regularly. If you're not the best at tracking your target, if you're not the best at hitting every shot or most of your shots, then the Fara is going to be for you outright. Especially with that 60 round mag, you got a bit more forgiveness in there, especially with the rate of fire. So though you're going to burn your rounds quite quickly, you're not going to burn them. You're not going to burn the mag and not have a kill for it. You're going to be better off on the Fara. With that being said, don't be afraid to use the Oden in quads. Straight up, don't be afraid to use it in quads. Its damage per mag is actually higher than most assault rifles in the game, which is a bit mind-blowing considering the fact it is a 30 round mag maximum. But the maximum damage that you can do in an Oden mag, you can take out a trio's team quite comfortably. I know that you think I'm talking shit, but I swear, like, you can kill people really. You can drop teams with an Oden, and you've got to see it to believe it. But yeah, you can absolutely mangle teams. Of course, you're going to be reloading a little bit more often. Just be comfortable. Say you've popped a couple of shots and you sat there on 15 bullets. Though you've still got a good. You can kill 2 people with that, but. Sometimes you want to just be safe. Your reload speed, it is a long reload speed. Just bear that in mind too. But. Yeah, that's kind of everything I've got to say on it. So yeah, remember, if the Oden is wall mounted or you're pre-aimed, you can do people in SMG range too. So guys, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comment section below. But yep, that is why I'm using the Oden in Season 5. And if you guys agree, or if you guys are going to be picking it up, let me know. But until then, guys, on Saturday, we're going to be following up with an Apex Legends video. Don't know which one I'm going to use. I think we're going to use, let's commit to it. Wolf Returns. The Wild Wolf returns to the YouTube channel. There you go. That's the video that you're going to have on Saturday. And if I do put any streams up between now and then, you will know by having that bell icon clicked. But until then, guys, I've been Shadows Rain. You guys have been awesome. And I'll see you in the next Shadows Rain A1A YouTube video. Peace.